That designer handbag you've been saving for, the one that costs more than a month's rent. I'm about to show you what's really inside it. And it's not craftsmanship worth thousands. For years, the luxury fashion industry has convinced millions that their handbags are worth the astronomical prices. But what if I told you the markup on that bag isn't just high, it's actually one of the most successful scams in retail history? The luxury handbag industry generates over $72 billion annually. Brands like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and Hermès have built empires by convincing consumers their products are the pinnacle of craftsmanship and exclusivity. But after spending 6 months investigating the industry, interviewing former employees, and analyzing manufacturing costs, I've uncovered 3 shocking truths about luxury handbags that the brands are desperately trying to hide.
For our next story, let me ask you 2 questions. Do you own a luxury handbag? And do you plan to buy one? Well then, here's some news for you. Recently, Italian prosecutors investigated the factories of Dior and Armani, and this is what they found: unsafe working conditions and illegal workers.
First, I'll reveal the actual production cost of a $5,000 designer bag and why the markup percentage would be illegal in any other industry. Second, I'll show you exactly how these brands manipulate scarcity to justify prices that have no relation to quality. And finally, I'll expose the working conditions behind these handcrafted items that luxury brands spend millions to keep hidden from you. But before we dive in, let me be clear, this isn't about shaming anyone who owns luxury items. This is about transparency in an industry that thrives on secrecy and emotional manipulation. By the end of this video, you'll never look at a designer handbag the same way again. Let's start with the most basic question. What does it actually cost to make a luxury handbag? Take this popular designer tote that retails for $5,000. According to my research and interviews with former production managers, the total cost of materials is approximately $88 to $120. The highest quality leather used costs about $35 to $50 per square foot. This bag uses approximately 2 square feet. The hardware, even when gold-plated, costs under $15. Add another $20 for the lining, thread, and other components. Even with the most generous estimates for materials, we're looking at under $150 in raw materials. But what about craftsmanship? Surely that's where the value lies. According to industry insiders, the labor cost for a standard luxury handbag ranges from $18 to $25 per hour, with most bags requiring 2 to 8 hours to complete, depending on complexity. Even adding the most generous estimates for overhead, shipping, and quality control, the total production cost rarely exceeds $300 to $400 for a bag that sells for $5,000. That's a markup of over 1,200%. Far beyond the standard retail markup of 100 or 200% in most industries. The internal target is to keep production costs under 10% of the final retail price. Anything more than that is considered inefficient. We literally had meetings about how to reduce material quality while maintaining the appearance of luxury. But here's where it gets even more disturbing. You've probably heard that certain luxury bags have waiting lists or are limited edition. This scarcity is presented as proof of exceptional craftsmanship and exclusivity. But internal documents I've obtained, different story. Luxury brands deliberately limit production, not because they can't make more bags, but because artificial scarcity drives up perceived value and justifies price increases. Take the Hermès Birkin bag, often touted as the ultimate investment piece with its years-long waiting list. Former Hermès employees have confirmed that the scarcity is carefully orchestrated. We had warehouses of Birkins. The waiting list was a marketing strategy, not a production reality. We were instructed to tell clients they were rare and difficult to obtain, while we had hundreds in storage. This artificial scarcity creates a psychological effect called perceived value enhancement. The less available something seems, the more valuable we believe it is, regardless of its intrinsic quality. But the manipulation doesn't stop there. Luxury brands have systematically increased prices by 5 to 15% annually, far outpacing inflation, not because of rising costs, but because higher prices actually increase demand in the luxury market. This counterintuitive effect, known as the Veblen good phenomenon, means that raising prices actually makes these items more desirable to status-conscious consumers. And this leads us to perhaps the most disturbing revelation of all. Luxury brands spend millions on marketing campaigns featuring artisans in pristine European workshops, carefully crafting each bag by hand. The reality? Many luxury bags are partially or fully manufactured in countries with minimal labor protections before being finished in France or Italy to earn the coveted Made In label. EU regulations allow products to claim European origin if the last substantial transformation occurs there, even if 90% of the manufacturing happened elsewhere. I spoke with workers from factories in Eastern Europe, North Africa, and Asia who produce components for luxury brands under challenging conditions. We make the exact same bags that sell for thousands, but we earn less than $2 per hour. The only difference is that the final stitching and hardware attachment happens in Italy. One luxury conglomerate CEO earned more in a single day than the average factory worker makes in 15 years. And while brands tout their sustainability initiatives in glossy reports, the reality of luxury fashion's environmental impact tells a different story. Unsold bags, which represent millions in inventory each year, are often destroyed rather than discounted to maintain the perception of scarcity and exclusivity. One former inventory manager told me, "We would rather burn $5 million worth of bags than sell them at 50% off." Discounting was seen as brand suicide. This practice continues despite public outcry and environmental concerns. So, what does all this mean for you, the consumer? I'm not suggesting luxury bags have no value. The designs can be beautiful, the materials are generally good quality, and they often hold resale value precisely because of the artificial scarcity we've discussed. What I'm saying is that the value proposition luxury brands present, that you're paying for exceptional craftsmanship, materials, and ethical production, is largely a carefully constructed. You're primarily paying for marketing, brand positioning, and the psychological value of owning something perceived as exclusive. Some mid-range brands actually offer comparable quality at a fraction of the price without the extreme markup. The question becomes, knowing what you know, is the status symbol worth the markup? The luxury handbag industry thrives on information asymmetry. They know the true costs and conditions while consumers are kept in the dark, making decisions based on carefully crafted marketing narratives. My goal isn't to tell you what to buy or what not to buy. It's to give you the information the industry doesn't want you to have so you can make truly informed choices. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when billions are spent. Keep you in the dark.